Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session by the MCAF Employment Services. I'm Rufaida Anis, and let's get going. Today, the topic that we are going to discuss about is job maintenance. So, a lot of us would are very excited to start a new job. So, today we're going to discuss a few of the key points about what's going to happen after you get a job. So, first of all, congratulations, you got a job. So that's the most important thing that we think right now, especially during this COVID situation, just to get a job. But you're wrong. Maintaining the job that you've gotten is more important than getting a job itself. So let's get to the workshop today. So what are the few points that we are going to be discussing is, before you start a new job, what are the things that you need to do? What are the things that you need to do on your first day of work? The first 2 weeks, what are the things that you always have to do in your job and your work ethics? So let's get going. So before you start this new job, the first thing is I would suggest is look at the dress code. It could be any job. You could be in a professional job, a non-professional job, in like a job which needs uniforms, a job which needs business casuals, business attires, anything. Just start first. Question yourself what kind of a job and what kind of a dress that you're going to be wearing. Observe other workers in your company or in your institution or your organization, and then maintain the kind of same dress code that other workers are wearing in the particular organization. And then the next thing is look how to get there. So say you've gotten a job which is around 45 minutes from home, and you need to be at work by 8:30 in the morning. So like if you have a car or you have other means of transportation, that's great. Time yourself before just to stay there, reach there around 10 or 15 minutes earlier. But if not, if you have to access the public transportation, you need the bus or you need to take a taxi, just see whether your job is in the right bus route, or you need to take two buses to go to the job. What is the time that you need to start from work? So you need to like access, put a like kind of a mapping in your own head, just to see whether you can whether it is feasible for you to be there on time. So take your bus routes and schedules, availability of the parking. Like you might be there on time, but you might find that your building does not have parking. So just like a day or two before you start your job, just go around the place where you have to work, see whether you have any private parking or whether your company is sponsoring for any parking. Find all that, and how long will it take to bike or to walk to your workplace. That is a very good start to for your work. Next thing is appointments. So a lot of us would have dental appointments or any other appointments for either for yourself or for your kids or anybody in the household, where you need to like pick them up or drop them up from the appointments, or whether you need to spend an hour or two once a week, or twice a week, depending on the situation that you are in. It is always advisable to advance, call up the appointment and advance your appointment if you can, because it is not really advisable to take a day off or few hours off as soon as you join the new job. So always try and get a backup and try to advance your appointments, just to make sure that you start with a great start and with a positive attitude. Next, prepare for a backup plan. Like I, each job is different. You could be in a job which is just 9 to 5. You could be in a job which needs overtime. You could be in a job which would run past your child's daycare or school appointments. So make sure to have a backup plan about the pickup and the drop services. And in case you are not able to pick up, find out have a backup plan of who is going to pick up. So you have to inform your child's daycare in advance that if not you, it is going to be either your partner or your friend who is going to be picking up your child. So it is always best to be prepared for any kind of emergency at work at also. The next thing is always get information about your workplace. Like before you start the job, whom should you report to? Like try and call them up or send them an email, what time you should be there, what are the things that you need to bring to your work, what the first day of your job, what like just prepare yourself. Like how exciting, I know it's going to be really exciting to get to a job, but it's going to be wonderful if you're well prepared ahead of time. And make sure you have your immediate boss's phone number handy, because if you are running late, which is highly not recommended, just try and be there on time. But like there could be any emergencies, so if there is any emergency and if you're running late, always try to call that person or send an email saying that and explain about your emergency and check in with them constantly. And so you've prepared for the day of your first of your job. So the first day of your new job. So what are the guidelines or the do's that we would ask you to do? Is I know it would be really excited for a lot of people. A lot of people would not even get a proper night's sleep the day before the first day of the job, but it's highly recommended to have a good night's sleep and wake up early, and then have a ensure that you're in perfect hygiene and personal care, and have a nice breakfast and start to work immediately. I mean, start to work as soon as you can. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Start to work as soon as you can, because you need to be there at least 15 minutes early. The first day's do's again, as I told you, stay 15 minutes advance, be there and introduce yourself, be positive. And it's always nice to, like, with your immediate seniors or your someone who's in charge of you, to ask regarding the policies of the company. It's nice to know the time, the day of the time of the day that they go for breaks, so that you schedule your timing or your work accordingly, whether you have any coffee breaks, whether you have any funds, coffee funds, where to have lunch, can you pack up your own lunch, what are whether it's a scent free environment. It's all good to know, and good to talk to your seniors or your person in charge, and be prepared for the coming days. Don'ts. So these are certain things that it's not only for the first day, it is for you to maintain a good work balance. It's always good to avoid all these things. First thing is speak critically of your last job. So don't have any kind of don't bad mouth about your past employers or your past job, because the first impression is always the best impression. So you don't give your employer a kind of feeling that you might do the same thing to your current job when you move on to the next job, and that's not going to be a really good thing. So please don't ever speak badly or critically of, or have any kind of comments about your last job. Try to become too familiar or learn too quickly. So this is one of the points that I would like to mention, which is very, very critical, because when we are at the first few days of your job, it's going to be really exciting. So we would want to learn a lot of things and know about a lot of things that has been happening in the organization. I would suggest to just be a little bit balanced and take things as it comes, and take it slowly. Because first thing is, if you're going to put a lot of information in your head on the first day, you are going to be tired and you are going to literally forget about it. You will forget about it, and it would be also disturbing your immediate seniors, asking them a lot of questions. So just take your time and keep it as it comes, and ask your questions one day at a time. Take it slowly. That's really going to build a strong foundation for you at this new job. Do not discuss about your personal problems or lifestyle issues. That is a big no no, especially to your colleagues. That is not professional at all, and it is not recommended, and it would be looked down upon. So please do not discuss anything personal or about your lifestyle at all to your colleagues. Be a show off or a know it all. The reason that why I introduced this particular point is, um, even if you know a lot of things, there is nothing wrong to learn something new every day, and it is always good to keep learning. So just don't have that kind of an attitude that you know everything. Everybody will learn a lot of things when you listen to people. Like, you might be used to a kind of way of working in your previous work, but it would be done in an entirely different work in entirely different way in this job. So that would be like a new thing for you to learn. So don't hesitate to learn new things in your job. Make personal calls or have friend visit. Yes, again, this is another no's or don'ts of your job maintenance, because it is again not professional for you to pick up your personal calls or to have friends visit you. Just have a complete work life balance, make a professional statement, have a proper job when you are at job, and then you can keep your friends and your personal calls after your job. But yes, of course, if there is an emergency, you can pick up the call and talk to your loved ones, or like there might be an emergency at your child's daycare or with your partner or with your friend. It's nothing wrong to pick up an emergency, but please don't pick up a call and have a long chat. That's not advisable at all. And use your personal phone while working. Again, yes. So a lot of employers are very cool and chill about you having your personal phones in your work, but it is not advisable to check your WhatsApp message or your Facebook account or your Twitter or your Instagram when you are at work. That is again not professional and not advisable at all. Next is know who you are working with. So when you start a new job, you are going to be introduced to a lot of people on the first few days, and it's going to be difficult for you to remember the names. But it is always advisable for you to remember names, because it is not a good thing to call someone with a wrong pronunciation, or with a wrong name. So like, it is always, it's better to associate something with the person's name for you to remember. So repeat the person's name aloud when introduced. And if you do not get the pronunciation, it is not wrong at all to ask them again. Like, I know a person who is pronounced as, her spelling is Hana, and a lot of them pronounce her name as Hannah, but she prefers to be called as Hannah. So you can ask their what they prefer to call them as. Make an association or with a rhyme or an image. That's something to work with your head. Make a staff list as you go. Like, you have someone like Donna, she likes tennis, so she's the office coordinator. Jorge, he has a red hair, he is an IT manager. So this is something which is minute, but a lot of people appreciate it if you remember their names, and you're going to build a very strong relationship with these kind of people during your work. Know the organization. So it is good to know your team, it's good to know your manager, but it is also very good to know your boss's boss, your manager's boss. Whom does your boss report to? Who is the real head of the organization? Who makes the decision? Who gives the call? So it's very important to know the hierarchy of the work culture, because it would help you in the long run. So I would, like, there's a small list. Like, start by keeping a simple list, like, who is my boss, who is his or her boss, is there anyone higher than that person, who is anyone equal to my boss, who is between me and my boss. So there will be a lot of like a team lead or a manager between you and the director. So it's nice to know who are the people who are in between, who is the person who you have to report to. Just make a small list so that you do not forget. Again, it's good for your work, like, to stabilize your work. So these are the things that you always need to do. It's not like your first day or your last day. It's always, whenever, in whichever job that you are. Poor attendance is one of the leading causes for dismissal. So if you are planning for a vacation, please let your immediate supervisors let them know at least like 15 to 20 days ahead of time. Tell them that you are going to be taking a vacation, or like leave vacation. Even if you're planning to take a 2 day or a 3 day visit somewhere out of town, just let them know like 15 to 20 days ahead of time. If you are sick, of course you're not going to be able to do that 15 days ahead, but just try to give your supervisor a call in the morning, early in the morning, or send them an email, official email, saying that you would not be able to attend work because you are kind of sick. So, or personally call your employer as soon as you know you will be absent or late. So give them the reason and say when you will be there. So they really expect something like this when you are at work. So always demonstrate a positive attitude. So that's one of the things that a lot of people really appreciate over here. Greet everyone with with a smile. A smile goes a long way. So that gives a very positive outlook towards for you as well as your co-workers. Arrive on time to start work and after breaks. So if you're going to take a lunch break, say at 12, so your lunch break is for half an hour. So make sure you are there by 12:30 and not by 12:45 or 1 p.m. Just don't take your own time. So just be there on time. Like punctuality is really appreciated over here. Ask questions and demonstrate interest. So it's good to start asking questions, because that is going to tell your boss or anyone that you are really really interested in that kind of topic, instead of when there is a topic given or when there is a meeting. If you're just going to keep quiet, it's you're just going to be one amongst the others. So ask a lot of questions and show the genuine interest that you have on the particular project. Focus on doing the job right. Offer to help others, that is, have a lot of teamwork. Teamwork is really, really appreciated. Avoid gossip. So, this is one thing which is very difficult, but which is absolutely necessary to avoid gossip in your work field. Pay attention to grooming and hygiene. That is, take your shower every day. Don't wear the same clothes. Like, make sure that you're presentable to work, fresh and nice and neat early in the morning. Accept direction and criticism graciously. Yes, this is one more thing. Like, how well you are as an employee is also directly proportionate to, you have to be able to accept some kind of a criticism from your other employers. And of course there might be something right in what they say, and so accept it and always present it the right way the next time. And keep your personal life away from work. That is again highly uh, recommended. Please don't have any kind of personal life within the working environment. Always respect your work ethics, respect for yourself, and respect for others and for the organization. That is highly appreciated. Take responsibility for your own actions and mistakes. And if you've made any mistake, it's always right to go and apologize, and don't make sure that you do not repeat that kind of a mistake again. Admit of not knowing anything. So if there is a piece of information that you do not know, admit that you do not know and find out about the information later. So that is also again really appreciated. Be honest, avoid time theft. So time theft is a kind of thing over here. A lot of employers do not have kind of a punch in and a punch out machine, like when you come inside, when you go out. A lot of employers are work with you on a trust basis. So if you are getting paid for 8 hours, make sure that you work for 8 hours, and don't waste your time, or don't come in late and then put your timesheet for 8 hours. That is not professional at all. So do avoid time theft. Don't use workplace equipments for personal use. Don't bring work supplies home. So please don't take your pencils and erasers back home thinking it's just one pencil, it's just my pen that I've taken at home. No, please try and distinguish and draw a strong line between your work and your personal life, and don't mix these two. It's always, it ends up in a bad way if you're going to mix these two. Always stay positive and be your level best, and have a great teamwork. Shared workload, equipment, workspace, and information. Offer to help, of course, always, but back off when you sense you should not. So there are certain work that need teamwork, but there are certain work that is individual work. So make sure you know which one is which, and offer your help where your team members need actual help, and it's a teamwork also. Communicate directly and honestly. Do not whine, complain, or gossip. A simple thank you goes a long way, a simple smile goes a long way. And keep up the quality and the pace of your work always. Think we and not me. So this is again one of the pictures for teamwork, which is highly appreciated. Get along with others. So find allies, or you might have like a really close buddy in your work. So that kind of relationship is okay, but just not too much. Take an interest in everyone. Attend social activities. Avoid gossiping again and talking behind someone's back. Avoid taking sides in internal conflicts. So when you are in work, there is going to be kind of like conflicts, or there's going to be like a cold war, or there's going to be um, a lot of time where you will be put in a uncomfortable situation where you need to take sides sometimes. So first, my advice would be, try and avoid such kind of a situation. Try and be very neutral. uh, Make sure that you do not take sides between your co-workers. Avoid discussions and humor that is sexist, racist, or otherwise offensive. So this is also a kind of very important point. Some people might talk to you in a way that would offend you, or you would talk to a person in a way to offend them, or it would just be a small humor, but that would be a lot more offensive, a lot more sexist or racist. So please be very careful about your wordings and about your humor in your job. React with class to any form of workplace harassment. So if you are undergoing any workplace harassment, or if you see someone else undergoing a workplace harassment, please make sure to inform the right person at work, because that is highly a very stressful situation at work. And don't judge your coworkers. That is a very good saying, don't judge a book by its covers. So please do not judge by how the person is talking or how the person is dressed up. There must be a lot more inside the co-workers. So just don't judge them about how they look, or how they are, or how they behave. So close relationships. Make sure it doesn't get in the way of being part of the whole team. So as I told you, you might have a buddy, or you might have like a soft corner to a friend of yours, but make sure that does not disturb your entire teamwork. There are a lot of examples where you might have a person whom you prefer working with, but you are like, just make sure that you do not again mix up your close relationship with work. Don't use work time to discuss outside plans or activities. Yes, of course, you're going to go with your buddy for a lunch break or like a coffee break, and just don't take your own time talking about something else which is other than work. Of course, you need your break, so if that's why you go out for your break, but just make sure you come back soon and start resuming your work. Do not approach any romantic situation cautiously. Again, this is something which is very sensitive and which is highly recommended to be avoided. So Be aware of company policy or any potential kind of harassment. So what are the, you make sure that you know what are the company policies, what is kind of a punishment, what are the steps that the company takes for any kind of a romantic situation, for any kind of a harassment that goes in a work organization. So these are the points. And last but not the least, you can do it. When you can secure a good job, it's always good to maintain the job and flourish and grow within the job, grow within the organization, and get out, come out of it highly successful at the end of your job tenure. So thank you for attending the session today. And until I see you next time, bye bye.